Dynamism, physical extremes, abundance, beauty, disintegration, organic and digital processes, Tonian energies, temporality, rhythm, restraint, difficulty, interpersonal conflict, emotion.
The terrible beauty of nature renewing herself, breaking through the earth.
Oh, yes, I see.
And this is what I hear, and I write what I hear.
So that's what I call restraint. And I feel like the subterranean energy of nature has that same feeling. Like you're always just about to fall off the cliff, basically. That feeling of on the precipice, that moment of being held but wanting to go more. I think it's just like, I feel like in a way I've been the ideal pandemic lockdowner. I have been getting on with my life. I've been embracing all the opportunities it's brought me. And then all of a sudden I was just like, fuck, I need to get out of here. This is like being under house arrest, you know, and just feeling extremely like the energy just like it was painful. Like the feeling of the tears were actually excruciatingly painful coming out. Like there was so much like blocked energy, and I can only say that it's because I've had to be forcing words out of my body, like forcing words down onto the page, like forcing myself to explain things and to, you know, map things out, and with no connection to the energy of the world and the life, you know, or the, you know, the life, like nature, like the broader energy of my collective connection with people and nature. It was like really painful and like, wow. From me major to a minor to major. If you were reading this, there is a fair chance that you're a human being. There's also a fair chance that no matter how unique and special you are or think you are, there are certain basic human mechanisms that you share with Conservative members of Parliament, Yorkshire miners, radical lesbians and policemen. If you can identify and use these mechanisms to your own satisfaction, then you will have a much better basis for producing worthwhile art than if you'd spend your time hallucinating an imaginary average consumer and trying desperately to hammer your work into shape that will please his largely hypothetical tastes and criteria.
These fictitious bridges that don't really exist.
Really?
Which I always thought was quite like, in itself, in a kind of unintended way, that's quite symbolic. They used bridges that don't exist because they didn't want to favour any country over another.
Because they're European.
Yeah, but like that says it all, that they basically erased reality and real things in order to create something that isn't, you know, that isn't like a sort of naturally occurring thing. This town in the Netherlands, this city, I think it begins with an S, they have built all of these bridges in their own town.
What?
Like they needed to build a series of bridges over a river somewhere. So they like built like replicas of all of these bridges.
Hi, Bamp. tall. You're very, very tall. He's gone again. Oh, I'm getting smaller. Oh, are you flying, Pam?
That makes me feel a little chilled. It's a little chilling to think that that's like some of the least radical shit I've ever fucking said. And yeah, why is being heard so scary there? I don't know. I'm now having a reaction to that. This is the voice note that should go in. Me talking about the fact you asked me to be honest, and I'm fucking terrified to be. And I would be seen by a lot of people as someone who wouldn't be fearful of that stuff. So fucking hell, that's very strange.
We both share a kind of measure of cynicism about it, or caution, because I feel like you, that well, how radical are you talking? You know, well, how radical do you want to go, guys? You know, because I'm fucking ready, you know? Well, are you?
I'd like to believe that they're interested as an organization in confronting their own prejudices, but I don't really believe that ever, when I work with organizations. So, and particularly, just from reading the language in that, they've really tried to dress up, you know, care civic agency play inclusivity. I mean, these things should have been part of their organization all along. I don't really know how they're suddenly relevant. Our core values, is there, like that stuff. You know better than anyone, are like. That language is like, a smoke screen, for an organization who doesn't know what's going on.
As often here, rain overtook a fine morning at midday. In Fitzwilliam Square, the air, almost warm, was burdened with the scent of laburnum, red may, pink may, lilac. This is a city with little feeling of claustrophobia, for the Dublin mountains are always visible beyond, and from this square they seem in some lights tantalizingly near. Low clouds part, and the clearness of the air suddenly reveals them, strong, purple. Then a shadow, a veil of rain, sweeps across, and nothing is left of them but mist. A few minutes later the veil thins, and they appear beyond it, obscurely blue, or a sudden shaft of sunlight tears it open, and the lower slopes come forward in their native green, their bracken-grown sides seeming, at this distance, like banks of moss. They change colour and texture with all the weather's freaks.
And now, if you feel brave, I would just like you to show your drawing to the rest of the group.
Artie said, "We have this advantage that the norms expect us to be wise. Even our rat's-ass dwarf jester got credit for terrible canniness disguised in his tomfoolery. Freaks are like owls, mythed into blinking, bloodless objectivity. The norms figure our contact with their brand of life is shaky. They see us as cut off from temptation and pettiness. Even our hate is grand by their feeble lights. And the more deformed we are, the higher our supposed sanctity."
I think I am a little bit lighter than I claim myself to be, you know. I like to think that I'm like very deep and la la la, which I do have this side, but I think I'm really light being, you know. And I want to be out all the time. I don't want to be sitting, you know, in a cafe just smoking shitloads of cigarettes and just reading about, you know, the human mind and blah blah blah. Sitting like everything has to be philosophy, you know. You have to talk about everything. It has to be very. Sometimes I just want to light, you know.
Hi, brother. How are you?
I am here, said Frog. Frog was standing near Toad's bed. Wake up, Toad, he said. Frog, is that really you? Said Toad. Of course it's me, said Frog. And are you your own right size? Asked Toad. Yes, I think so, said Frog. Toad looked at the sunshine coming through the window. Frog, he said, I'm so glad that you came over.